and welcome back to Happy Mind TV, a place where happiness and mindset meet, and you will leave feeling empowered and enriched to take on your week and your day with all of the advice that we cover in each and every video. Today we are talking all about how to manage change, and I have deliberately changed the background again because this is something I used to really struggle with. And the first thing I want to do is ask you some questions. And I would love it if you answer down below in the comments if you relate and you can resonate with any of these feelings. Do you really struggle when change catches you off guard? Does change make you feel nervous or anxious? Have you been in a situation that has changed last minute and it has really knocked your confidence? Do you see change as a negative? Do you worry about things changing? Do you try your best to keep things exactly as they are in the same situations all of the time because you think it keeps you safe? Does change link to danger or risk for you? Have things changed in your life that have led to heartache and pain and sadness? Does change to you scare you? Does it make you feel scared? If you can relate and resonate to any of these questions, please in the comments below, just let me know, Sam, yes, I have felt this way. Yes, I know what this is like. This video is for you. This video is 100% for you because managing change can be really difficult. And for some of us, exactly like I have just tried to demonstrate, it can be something we fear and that creates a lot of anxiety for us. So I want to just break down some mindset ideas for you that can really help you see change in a different way. The first thing that I really want you to think about is change is inevitable. And so often we try not to accept that, and we try to actually avoid things changing and ignore and avoid change. And we just almost become ignorant to it. You know, why does it have to change? We don't want that. Change is inevitable, and the more time we spend running and being scared of change, the more time change will come and slap us in the face and make us feel so down. So the first thing you need to think about is change is inevitable and change will happen. How can you start to embrace that change? Which leads me to my next mindset idea for you. Can you become more proactive rather than reactive to change? So rather than waiting for the change to kind of hit you and ta-da, here is the change, can you become more proactive and prepare yourself for change? Can you prepare yourself for when change might come? Is there any way you know and you can predict when things will change? In a job, in relationships, with your car, with holidays, with travel, with your emotions? Can you predict and plan some of that? So for example, for some of us females, our periods and our hormones will affect our moods. Can you start to track that so that you know when you will feel tired and low in energy, and you can prepare for those changes rather than become reactive to them? If you know that seasons make you feel certain ways, what can you do to prepare yourself for winter when it's really dark? Can you get a light that automatically comes up and wakes you up when you wake up so you've got natural light? Can you get a Himalayan salt lamp? Can you make sure that you go out when it is sunny? Can you check the weather? Can you make sure that you have plans in the evening that force you to go out rather than just retreat? There's so much that you can do to prepare and be proactive for change. So when you know that change is coming, which now you do, you can start to become more prepared for it rather than just react and be so impulsive and led by that change. And the third thing that I really want you to think about is sometimes change does happen when we least expect it. Sometimes change does happen when we don't want it. And sometimes change does happen that makes us feel nervous, anxious, and just rubbish. When that happens, this is when you really need to think about your mindset and yourself. And you need to use these following ideas and strategies to help you through that. There will always be something in your life that does fill you with comfort and love. There will always be something. And this is a task that I would really invite you to do. Create a love list. Create a love list. Change is inevitable. Change will come, and sometimes change comes when we don't want it. what you can do to prepare for that, the same way in tip 2, when you know change is coming, you can also prepare for when change comes that you don't want, and how you can protect your own emotions. You need to create a love list. Anything that happens or you can do in your life that raises your mood. It could be watching Netflix. It could be having a bath, reading a book, going for a walk, meeting a friend, having dinner, eating cookies, having some chocolate, going to bed early, having a nap. It could be so many things, absolutely anything. Your dog, your pets, slippers, pajamas, being cozy, wearing makeup, doing your hair. There are so many things that you can have on your love list that do bring you a slice of positivity. That is the list you need to go to when change comes that you don't want, you haven't welcomed, and might not fill you with happiness straight away. You can always revert to your love list. And the next mindset tip that I want to give you is, you change. You change every day. You've changed from being a baby to a teenager, to your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, wherever you are in life, to being single, in a relationship, to being married, to living with your parents, to owning a home, to having to get the bus and walk, to being able to drive, to not being able to read, to having your own laptop and phone. You have changed so much. And along that journey, some people will have changed with you, and some people will have changed in a way that isn't the same as you. And that is when change teaches us the most. Change isn't something that we should fear, it's something we need to learn from. Change is inevitable. Change is going to happen. Sometimes it catches us off guard. You have changed. And so much around your love list, your mindset, how we fear change, how we can understand change, how we can prepare for change and be proactive. So much of this is allowing you to set yourself up to have a positive relationship with change as much as you can. Now, don't get me wrong, when bad things happen in our life, like grief and death and loss, separation, disappointment, failure, all of these things we see as negative, and they are changes that, affect us and upset us, but we can learn from them. And you change every day to evolve into the best version of yourself. The most important thing that you can do when you're living and dealing with change is focus on you. Are you changing in a way that is making you happy? Or are you changing in a way that is reacting to a change that you can't change? Sometimes changes happen that you cannot control. You cannot change, and you cannot make them any different to what they are. But what you can do is think about how it's changing you. Go back to yourself. What type of individual do you want to be, and how do you want change to affect you? Of course, change can make us feel sad and down and disheartened. And of course, we have to honour those feelings and hold pity parties and cry and be sad. But you also then need to think about, how do you want to change to become the best version of yourself? And rather than fearing change and seeing change as something really negative and hurtful, what can you learn from change to recognise that you can prepare, you can become more proactive, you can use your love list and love yourself, and you can change to become the best version of you. Along the way, I have learnt so much about change, and I know how amazing it can be, I know how scary it can be, and I know how heartbreaking and devastating it can be. But what I've learnt most, and genuinely what I've learnt most over the last 5 to 10 years of my self-development journey, and definitely since starting my business, is the one change that I can really focus and harness on is me. And the one thing that I can control about change is how I let change me. And the one fundamental thing that I want to ensure I bring to my life is to be the best version of me I can, and to recognise that change is inevitable, change will always happen, and sometimes change is negative. To embrace that, own that, understand that, but to then allow myself to have the power to know that I can change myself, my thoughts, my emotions to serve me in the best way possible. Go back to that. And wherever you are with change, and however change makes you feel, however change has affected you and impacted you. And if those questions did relate to you, just go back to yourself and focus on the change that you can create within you and for you, and how that change can make you feel, rather than the change that is all around you. And one thing I would love to do is find out more about the changes that you have been through. And I would love in the comments for you to share a change that you are going through now, a change that you don't know the outcome, a change that is making you struggle or feel anxious and nervous, and allow me to support you, to give you some more personal ideas of things that you can do to move you forward. Or I want to hear about a change that you have made for the positive, a change that has lifted you up, a change that has given you an energy and a proudness that you want to share. Change isn't something that we can stop. Change isn't something that we can always control, but change is something we can learn from, we can embrace, we can prepare for, and we can understand. I really hope this video has given you some mindset tools and some brain food that you can take away and think about. And if you know anyone that is struggling with change, experiences change in a negative way, or finds change really challenging, make sure you share this video with them so that they can have the same support that you've had. And I absolutely can't wait to see you on another episode on A Happy Mind TV, and I love you to bits.